Kid Spot. I am Anna Pal. I am so happy to meet you today. I've enjoyed this series so much. Do you remember what catch, check, and change mean? Catch the thought that come into our minds, check them with what God says is right, and let Him change them. That requires a whole lot of brain power. Oh, that reminds me about some brain teasers. I have some for you. Ready?
Exercise your brain by shouting out the answers to some brain teasers. People buy me to eat, but never eat me. What am I? A fork! What tastes better than it smells? A tongue! Who is bigger? Mr. Bigger, Mrs. Bigger, or their baby? The baby, because he is a little bigger.
Did you guess any? You guys are becoming experts. I am proud of you. Well, now we are ready for the Bible story. Let's prepare our hearts.
Let me tell you about this guy in the Bible whose thoughts got him into a lot of trouble.
Happens to the best of us. Who was it?
A guy named Samson.
Oh yeah, Sammy Sam. Wasn't he that superhero guy?
Yeah, kinda. God had given him the gift of supernatural strength.
So strong that he lifted up Noah's Ark with all of the animals inside and was like, "Come at me, rain."
No, dude. Samson lived after Noah. But to really understand why God gave Samson his special strength, let's go back to when he was a baby.
Wait, he had supernatural baby strength? Awesome.
Even as a tiny baby, Samson was set apart for a special plan God had for him. Before Samson was even born, God sent an angel to his mom to tell her that she would have a son who would bring God's people victory over their enemies.
Lex Luthor? Darth Vader? Cruella de Vil?
Nope. Their enemies were, wait for it, the Philistines.
The Philistines? Who were they?
They were a really strong group of warriors. But in order for Samson to keep his special supernatural strength and help save God's people, there were a few rules he had to follow.
Like, don't eat SpaghettiOs in bed, or don't run up an escalator, or never ever throw cheese at a moving ceiling fan?
No, rules like don't eat any unclean food.
Oh no! Sammy Sam was having to throw his pizza into the dishwasher before he ate it? Poor guy.
No, unclean food back in Samson's day meant that you couldn't eat food from pigs.
Hold up! You're telling me Samson couldn't eat bacon? Or barbecue sandwiches?
Yep, no bacon or barbecue, or pork chops, or Uncle Carl's famous honey ham. It was all off limits.
Sheesh!
Well, the other really important rule for Samson was that he couldn't cut his hair.
Like, ever?
Yeah, if he cut his hair, he could kiss his supernatural strength goodbye.
I bet Sammy Sam was trying out some awesome hairstyles, like the super slick back, extreme mohawk, or mega triple man bun.
I kinda doubt that. As Samson grew up, the Spirit of God came upon him many times, giving him great strength to fight the Philistines. But he kept breaking the rules God had given him, and he didn't care about pleasing his parents either. It all started with Samson wanting to marry a Philistine woman.
Wait, a Philistine woman? He wanted to marry the enemy?
Exactly. His parents tried to tell him that this wouldn't please God, but all Samson cared about doing was what he wanted to do. So he married her anyways. Over the years, Samson fell in love with not one, but two Philistine women. And one of them was named Delilah.
So, did Samson and this new lady live happily ever after?
Not quite. The Philistines were dying to know the secret behind Samson's special strength, and they paid Delilah some money to find out for them.
And she fell for it, didn't she?
Yep. She tried to trick Samson into telling her where his strength came from, and she nagged him until he finally gave in. Instead of thinking about what would please God, he gave in to the pressure and revealed his big secret. If you shave my head, I won't be strong anymore.
Oof. Not smart. Big mistake, buddy.
It really was. While he was asleep, Delilah had someone cut off 7 braids from his head. When Samson woke up, the Philistines put him in chains and he couldn't break out.
Super strength gone. Mega bummer. So did he go from that superhero life to spending the rest of his days in prison?
Well, while Samson was in prison, his hair began to grow back. And one day, the Philistines brought Samson out and chained him to the pillar of their temple. There were 3,000 Philistines and many of their leaders inside.
I bet Sammy Sam was really wishing he had that super strength right about now.
He was. So he prayed and asked God to make him strong just one more time. Then he put one hand on one pillar, the other hand on the other pillar, and started to push. He said, "Let me die together with the Philistines." And he gave it all he had.
Whoa, seriously?
The temple came crumbling down on Samson along with the Philistines and their leaders.
And the super strength returns. Sammy Sam is back in action. See ya, fellas.
Samson actually defeated more Philistines on the day he died than he ever did while he was alive. And even though many of Samson's thoughts and actions didn't please God, God still used Samson to give his people victory over their enemy.
I guess God has a way of doing that, huh?
He really does. Samson's story shows us that we can all be tempted or pressured to think about wrong things that will make ourselves or other people happy. And when we do that, we miss out on the good plans God has for us. Instead of giving in, we can ask God to help us catch those thoughts and focus on what pleases Him.
Have you ever felt pressured to do something that doesn't please God? Samson was so happy to be called by God, but he wasn't happy to follow his rules and please Him. I need to remember to think about what pleases God and how can we do it? One way is memorizing His Word. Are you ready for the Bible verse? 3, 2, 1. Don't live the way the world lives. Let your thinking be completely changed. Then you will be able to test what God wants for you. And you will agree that what He says is right. Romans 12:2. Perfecto, amigos. See you next week. Bye.